Testing, testing. I want to make sure you guys will be able to hear me loud and clear. Oh, can you make sure you're tabbed in, or you might have to recalibrate or something. Yeah. Well, because you had to go to school, the Millionaires got a handicap of having SB not show up for match number 3. Kick W. You guys can hear me though, right? Like, I'm audible. Just want to be sure. Yes, that is right. I am Audible, Amazon's ebook service. Are you tired of reading books all day and not really being able to spend your time efficiently? Well, we present to you Audible. Instead of reading books, you can listen to them and make perfect use of your time. Nah. I think if you're a follower on my channel, you'll be able to spam the Millionaires and Wavey one's emote. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, seems like I can use it here. Oh, wow. 4 Millionaires and 4 Wavey ones. Well. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Classic Tetris Gauntlet Overdrive Playoff Finals. Tonight we go into match number 4 between the Millionaires and the Wavey Ones. The Wavey Ones managed to stay alive with a surprising 4-0 sweep at match number 3. However, the Millionaires still are one game away from closing this out. And it looks like both Toby and O have begun their warm-ups and are almost finished, so we'll be heading into that match very shortly here. It's going to be very crucial between these two. We're actually having our Ruby players play up first. So, further thing being said, let's go ahead and check out our players, and of course, when they are ready, we'll be able to get things underway. Also, in unrelated news, registration for the upcoming season will be opening up tonight. So, it's going to be a fun time. And we'll explain a little bit more about it as tonight's match goes on. And we'll probably repeat everything at the end. But, with that being said, both players are in fact ready. So let's go ahead and get them counted down to game number 1. Oh, actually, hold on. No, they're doing same piece sets. My bad. Don't start. There's your seed. Ignore that. Ball start. I did not see the same piece sets. It's all good, though. This is perfect time for you to get some popcorn. You know, get you a drink or two. Stay hydrated. And you ready for some Tetris? All right, you got it ready from O. And we got it ready from Toby. No more false starts. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So we have a same piece set match. Both players are going to be put on a level playing field. And looks like we already got some stack differentiation here. Of course, both players are looking to win this first game for their team. Winning this first game gives you immunity from potentially running into a mercy rule situation, similar to what happened to the Millionaires in the last game. And to start things off, both players with 2 Tetrises on the board. Toby is going to score a 3rd. O is having to take a few more burns. But everything looks pretty clean for both players. And looks like we're going to be running into a drought here. And both players managed to last through the drought and score Tetris. So Toby able to find one more Tetris of efficiency at the beginning of the game. Going to be in the lead by 1 Tetris. Players now gearing up to get Tetris ready. And of course, this is not going to be an easy match for either player to win. Toby, dare I say it, might actually be considered the underdog in this particular matchup. O has only lost 1 match in the playoffs. And that was to DMJ from the Sparks and Minos. And DMJ, to his credit, went on an absolute tear in that series. Toby right now having to deal with some kind of tough pieces. Does find a way, opens up the well, knocks in a Tetris, and O fires back with one as well. And Toby still playing more efficient than O. Now up to a 2 Tetris lead. O unable to utilize that long bar for a Tetris. Commits to the overhang, knocks down the Tetris, and O decided not to use the J piece for the tuck. Goes for the spin instead. All things considered, both players playing this seed fantastically, managing to survive droughts and all. And speaking of droughts, we run into another one here. What the heck? Toby sets up a T-spin, gets the T-piece for it a bit too late. O's gonna find a Tetris. Toby might actually be going aggressive. Yeah, Toby's gonna go for the row 2. And O not able to find a Z piece to go in there. Would love to see a J piece. There's the J piece. And Toby scoring dirty Tetrises now just to maintain the lead. But it looks like he's gonna finally make a small commitment, bring the stack down, or was attempting to do so. And these pieces just aren't ideal. There it is, another Tetris for O, finally into the lead. As Toby potentially gets set up for another Tetris here on row 3. There's a Tetris for O, 299 and now 274. A little bit over halfway through 18. Another Tetris for O. And Toby 1 Mino shy of being Tetris ready. Both players now stacking up. Toby, of course, on row 3. There's a Tetris for Toby and a Tetris for O. Still maintaining this lead, and Toby just kind of being forced to commit to this. Can't really spend too much of his resources burning this out. But those are some great pieces. Can open up this column 3. Another Tetris for O. $392 for O, $334 for Toby. And both players now having experienced a drought here. Toby is going to be looking for some pieces. Had to use the I piece in order to get out of that 2D dependency, but found another one and scores a Tetris. 440 for O, 362 for Toby. Things have taken a complete 180 in O's favor. Managing to build up almost a 3 Tetris lead here. These pieces aren't necessarily ideal for O. Goes for the tuck. And it's just going to take the double. Toby knocks down another Tetris, cutting the lead down to only 2 Tetrises here. And looks like both players should be in a stable position here before transition. There's a Tetris for both O and Toby. 491 to now 431. O in the lead. And another Tetris for O. Tetris for Toby. Both players have 2 Tetrises left, potentially here on 18. There's a skim burn for Toby. It looks like we're running into a drought right before transition. O's going to commit to the triple. Toby transitions at 482, and O transitions at 545, a 63,000 point lead here in game number 1. O's keeping the stack clean. Able to throw those O pieces over to the left. And kind of running into a troubling situation. Not really able to do much with that drought. Tetris for Toby. Gonna close the gap by 1 Tetris, but O counters with a Tetris. But Toby rescinds the counter. 536, make that 561 and now 581. O in the lead by 1 Tetris now. Knocks down a Tetris, but Toby is also ready. Tetris for Toby. 587 and now 608. Oh, nice adjustment. And there it is. Tetris for O. Back into the lead up to a 45,000 point lead. But both O and Toby have clean boards, though. Tetris ready. Waiting on the long bar. And there it is. Tetris for both O and Toby. And looks like we are almost synchronized on pieces as well. There it is. Simo Tetris for O and Toby. 689 to now 645. But O's having to do some burning. Going to be looking for quite a few pieces here. Toby knocks down a Tetris and is 1 Tetris away from taking the lead. We are at level 22. There it is. Tetris for Toby. 7,000 point lead. That triple's going to have us separated by 40 points. And Toby nails the I spin. Both players, now the lead is going back and forth. O looking for ideal pieces and they just aren't showing up. There's a Tetris for Toby. Finally solidified 1 Tetris in the lead. Oh, still trying to find a way to navigate through this. Toby almost Tetris ready. There it is. Tetris ready and Tetris for Toby. 767 and now 712. Oh, still getting the wrong S or Z each time he has a specific dependency. And O's going to get set up for the Tetris. And takes the triple right as soon as the long bar comes down. But Toby now experiencing some complications. If O can find a way to burn out of this. No, Toby's going to get clean. Both players, Tetris ready. Dirty Tetris for O. 740 or 762 to now 807. Toby trying to get set up for a Tetris is set up. O going for row 2. There it is. Tetris for Toby and Tetris for O. 795 now for O. 872 for Toby. Another Tetris for O. Goes up to 829. Both players here on level 27. 42,000 point advantage for Toby. There's another Tetris. 906. Oh, not able to utilize that eyepiece for a Tetris. Still looking for some helpful pieces. Committed to that, but not Tetris ready. This is a tough situation for O, down by 100,000 points. And we only have a little bit over a level remaining for both players. Toby now 976. Another Tetris for Toby. There's the max out. O committing to this. Only a couple lines away from 29. There's a Tetris for O. Toby goes to 29. 1,050,000. Oh, you need to get 1,051,000. And oh my gosh, he's going for this. Very dangerous. Needs the eyepiece sooner than later. Goes for the double. Nice burns. And covers up the well. Toby takes game number 1. Long bar was nowhere to be found as a final drought into level 29 did O in. What a game 1 from Toby. Go ahead and increment the first 2. Should be, what the heck? Okay, OBS. Should be 7-2. All right. Seems that both players are ready, so let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 2. Toby has managed to take the first one. Let's see if O can tie things up. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Out of these 2 players, Toby, of course, is actually a tapper. O is a roller nowadays. And when we got to level 29, there's limited pieces or limited movability that you're able to get in case of Toby being a tapper. So might have been able to try and squeeze out a couple more lines, but overall just had to rely on see what O was able to do. There's Tetris for O. And okay, goes for the L spin over here for Toby. And looks like Toby's kind of running into some tribulation here early on. And we kind of saw this happen a little bit in game 1 between these 2, where it was not able to really maximize the efficiency. Because both of these players had opted in for same piece sets, so they get the same piece sequences, they have to endure the same droughts, and O decided not to go for the line spin, instead set up the T spin, gets all the pieces to burn it out. And there's a Tetris for O. And a Tetris for Toby. But as far as openers go, O is having a solid opener. Able to take a pretty comfortable lead. Oh, nice placement over there from Toby. Very tightening placement allowed for the L piece to be utilized to get Tetris ready almost immediately. And despite the slow start, Toby is knocking down Tetrises at the same frequency as O following said rough start. And for our 40 lines, we have 210 for O, 150 for Toby. Toby sets up a Vitz. And, you know, in the grand scheme of, you know, same piece sets, Vitz have an interesting application because if your opponent is able to utilize a long bar where you cannot because you had to commit it to resolving a Vitz dependency, you know, that's a Tetris potentially that your opponent can gain on you. Of course, that's with the assumption of being a delayed Vitz as opposed to an adjustment Vitz. Just a little bit of interesting stacking theory and potential applications for you there. And speaking about applications right now, O is going to have to apply himself to bring this stack down. And this is a perfect opportunity for Toby to take advantage. Toby with a clean stack and is almost Tetris ready as well. O's going to be looking for an I piece or an L piece. That would work as well. Gets the I piece. That's going to help burn out a couple of things. Would love to see another S piece. Now a L or a J. And Toby utilizing these pieces at such a high efficiency rate. Now only trailing by less than a triple. And oh, committing to the dirty Tetris. Nice adjustment. And Toby also somewhat smallly ahead in lines. And a Tetris and a perfect well transfer over there for O. 322 to now 296. O in the lead by just a Tetris now. So that 3 Tetris lead has kind of disappeared. It has been reduced to 1. Both players now run into a drought here. And they're having to deal with it while a little bit high up. There's a triple for O. Good drought management. Oh, beautiful TJ combination right there. And a 30-piece drought. And after 33 pieces, both players get the long bar and able to utilize it for a Tetris. And all things considered, Toby was able to find a little bit more efficient way to keep the stack under control. O had to take a few more burns during that entire exchange. Now we're separated by 4,000 points. Tetris for Toby, temporarily in the lead until O makes another Tetris. But 4,000 points isn't a lot. Beautiful overhang. Toby now having to fill in that long bar dependency, and that's going to be a Tetris conversion for O. Both players now Tetris ready. And a little bit of a tough O piece right there for O. Quite ironic, but great solve. Creates an overhang and knocks down a Tetris. But, oh man, this is a tough situation for O. Not too many ways to entirely solve that. Is going to go for the L tuck, create a long bar dependency. Tetris for Toby, separated by a single there, just momentarily. Couple of good pieces for O. Nice, going to go for the double. Toby with 2 Tetrises remaining. Same can be said for O, and Toby is now taking a definitive lead. And O might be committing to this. Yeah, there it is. Dirty Tetris for O. And oh, missed the opportunity for an adjustment there. But O's going to transition at 491. Toby, on the other hand, looking to transition with the next line clear, and does so with a Tetris. Toby transitions at 527. There's a Tetris for O. 517 now 529. As close as you can get here. Both players identical line counts. And it looks like we might be heading into an early 19 drought. There it is, there it is. And then there's the long bar. Both players able to capitalize off of that eyepiece and score. Tetris 552 to now 560, separated by 8,000 points. And both players having to try and get the stack under control, get Tetris ready. Nice adjustment over there for O. Both players now holding up with a long bar. Synchronized on pieces, synchronized on droughts, but there's a Tetris for O. Toby was unable to utilize that long bar for a Tetris. And as a matter of fact, Toby is now eyepiece dependent, and Toby's going to hang a T-piece to the left, and it's just going to top out at 566, so O ties up the set 1-1. All right. Both players seem to be ready for game number 3. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go. Game number 3. Who's going to take the advantage in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Of course, this is a pivotal game number 3. This can decide who gets the advantage in game 4. Beautiful LJ adjustment over there for O. One of my favorite adjustments to execute. And as a result, O was actually able to find a Tetris. While Toby having to forego using 2 long bars for a Tetris, maybe even more. There it is. Toby finally knocks down his first Tetris of the game. O answers back with a Tetris of his own. And a little bit of approval there. Toby long bar dependent. Not going to fill in the long bar dependency. Very intriguing moves over here from Toby. The well is open. Toby now Tetris ready. And there it is. Tetris for Toby. Gets another one on the board. And there's another one for Toby. There's a Tetris for O. Another Tetris for Toby. Toby now going to be playing a little bit ahead of O. As O now knocks down another Tetris. Going to be in the lead by around 37,000 points. O, J-piece dependent. Gets said J-piece. Now Toby long bar dependent again. And, oh, this is dangerous. We might be looking at an early top out. I-piece comes. There's a double. Toby able to tap these pieces over to the left. There's a split triple. Oh, the survival. Toby's still trying to get out of this. Great J-piece for said J-piece dependency. Still looking for it. A nice T-piece. Help bringing the stack down bit by bit. And, oh, this could be dangerous. Toby needs an L-piece or an I. Gonna go for flat burns. And that might be it. No, Toby's still finding a way to survive this. Oh my gosh. If a J-piece comes, things can be saved. But Toby now needs to get a piece to the left. And it's not gonna happen. Toby's gonna top out at 123. Oh, it's good for game number 3. But what a survival effort over there from Toby. And O trying to get the signature F. And there it is. There's the F on the screen. All right, looks like we do have a ready for O and Toby, or not for O and Toby. We have a ready from Toby. And now we have a ready from O. We are at match point. Can Toby bring us to a decider, or will O take the first game for the Millionaires? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And looks like we got a little bit of clone-tris going on. Both players stacking the exact same, and we get a clone Tetris. And there it is, finally some differentiation. Neither player was able to use that second long bar for a Tetris. And there it is, Tetris for both players there. O's gonna take a 4-point lead over Toby. Little sneaky push down points. And O's gonna increase that to now 9 points. And Toby with the Vits. There it is, Tetris for O. Toby having to commit to a couple more burns here though. And there it is, Tetris for Toby. Oh, Tetris ready as well. O's going to be leading by just around a Tetris here in the early game. And as far as openers go, this might be the closest opener that we've had. Both players are kind of matching each other in terms of efficiency. And really, neither player has gotten to a significant dig situation. And now there's a 5-point separation. Toby pushed down for 4 points, but O has pushed down for 9 in total. But after that, triple Toby is going to generate some pretty solid separation there. So, looks like our days of having a tie are over unless we get a specific burn sequence from O, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. 191 and now 192 here at 40 lines. Great opener for both of these players here. Toby is going to be in the lead by 1 Tetris though. And okay, nice T burn into using the following T. Is J dependent and almost considered placing the eyepiece into J dependency. Decided not to do it and was able to score Tetris. And especially when you talk about, a same piece set game where you and your opponent are getting the same amount of long bars, opting to not utilize one of those long bars for a Tetris could mean you go down even more in points. But as far as things are concerned right now, both of these players now wow, they got a hole on the same row. They both score a Tetris, but now they have to deal with the hole down at the bottom. O is able to get access to the hole first. This game is synchronized in all different kind of ways. It's actually hilarious. And now Toby gets access to the hole at the bottom. Both players now in position to score for Tetrises. Meanwhile, O needs to get that left side filled in. Toby Tetris ready, maintaining around a 1 Tetris lead still. And, double L piece over there for O. T-spin for Toby. There it is, Tetris for Toby and Tetris for O. 318 and now 345. Another Tetris for O. And as far as things are considered, we are looking at an incredibly close game going into the post-transition. Another Tetris for both O and Toby. O holding on to this 1 Tetris lead. Same line count. And O gets the J piece. Perfect pieces over there for O. Both players knock down a Tetris. And another Tetris for O. Toby answers back with a Tetris as well. Just clean boards so far. 70% Tetris rate for O and 75 for Toby. And Toby having to take a triple there. Running into a small drought for both of these players, but they both managed to withstand it and knock down a Tetris. 436 and now 466. We are closing in on the transition of level 19. There's a Tetris for O. Toby having to commit some burns here. Great adjustment over there for O. Tetris for O and Tetris for Toby. Separated by half a Tetris now, but O has a pace advantage. There is another Tetris for O. Able to utilize another long bar where Toby couldn't. But Toby answers back. 505 to now 516. Tetris for O. Toby not quite Tetris ready. 3 Tetrises left for both of these players here on level 18. We'll head into level 19. There it is, Tetris for O. Can try and grab one more before transition. Toby, kind of a little bit of a scary situation. 6 lines left to go. All right, there's the Tetris. Toby should be fine. Just going to be waiting for the long bar. Sets up an overhang, though. And Toby's going to transition at 565. O transitions at 578. Toby gets the board cleaned up. O now L piece dependent. Finds a different way to, or J piece dependent. Finds a different way to burn out. Both players now holding out for this long bar. There it is, Tetris for O. Toby holding out, trying to get the well open. The well is open, ready for that long bar. And there it is, Tetris for Toby. 611 and now 602, separated by 6,000 points now. There's both players trying to meticulously get the stack in control. There it is, Tetris for Toby into the lead. O is Tetris ready, sets up a delay burn. There is Tetris for O. Back into the lead. Toby knocks down the Tetris, taking the lead back from O. 643 to now 657. O is Tetris ready, but so is Toby. Tetris for O. Toby holding out for the long bar, getting up high. Needs the long bar right now. Okay, has to commit to some burns. That left side is deadly. Able to get the O piece all the way over, but no, hangs the Z piece. And Toby's going to top it at 660. O takes game number 4. And the Millionaires lead the set 1-0. Up next, we're going to be having our Platinum players. It looks like O could not get the F. Either way, great game played by both. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get things set up for our next match shortly. So give us about 10 minutes at most. Is there a prize winning? Yes, there's currently $1,100 in the prize pool. So both of these teams are fighting for that. Wait, yo. That's kind of crazy. Also, I don't know. Hold on, let me fix that. Match score should be showing. There we go. Wait, more Leno. How far was that secret grade? What the heck? One to 0. You can. It should show on screen. Alright, looks like we have both players in. Here we go. All right. When both players are done warming up, we'll be able to get things underway. Well, Orlando needs to reconnect. All right. But while that is happening, registration will be opening up for the next season tonight. So tryouts and everything will be opened, and you'll be able to get signed up for the upcoming season, which is Classic Tetris Gauntlet Ascension. The final name change that we'll have. There's going to be a rebalancing of tiers, and you don't have to be as cracked as the players that are playing tonight. We even are going to have something called the Mino League, where you could think of it as like the D League in terms of like, or the G League in terms of like the NBA, but that is going to be perfect for players that are new or getting into, you know, Classic Tetris, and they want to grow competitively and in their own respective journey. It's going to involve a bunch of peer-reviewed feedback on your games, as well as, you know, some private coaching sessions or just broad coaching session match breakdowns and all that. So if you're interested in getting into Classic Tetris, want to participate on a team in some format, then and even though if you might not necessarily be as skilled as the players that we have playing tonight, then definitely join the Gauntlet Discord server for when the announcement goes live shortly after this match for registration to be open. You can join the Gauntlet Discord server right there. But let's check in on our players as they finish their warm-ups here. And as a matter of fact, they are finished with their warm-ups. So let's go ahead and get both players counted down to game number 1. Millionaires are up 1-0. Can Orlando tie things up? Or will Vince bring the Millionaires one step closer to taking all the cash? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh. If memory serves me correct, both of these players were actually former Dryweller members. Back in season Ignition, Orlando got picked up by the Wavey ones, and the Millionaires picked up Vince. So, quite an interesting story there. And of course, I believe these players have interest in playing in this upcoming season, so it's likely, if at possible, they're going to try and stay with their teams. But to start things off, Orlando off to a very efficient opener. And in the match between Grand Designs and Orlando, despite having, you know, a couple earlier top outs allowing Grand Designs to complete the chase down, Orlando kind of showed hints of what we saw back in the season of Ignition, where I believe throughout majority of the regular season, with the exception of the All-Stars, Orlando went undefeated. And so kind of showed that same high-level competitive prowess. And is kind of showing a little bit of that early today here. $104 to now $160. Orlando having to deal with that. Vince actually in a little bit of a troubling situation. Hits the S-spin. Doesn't want to go for the burn. Holding out for an eyepiece. Has to take the burn, and now this is a difficult situation to dig out of. That left side is just really hard to get access to. And Vince is going to have an early top out at 108. So Orlando is good for game number 1. See. All right, when both players are ready, we can get game number 2 underway. All right, it's like they are both ready. Let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go. Can Vince tie up the set, or will Orlando go up 2-0? We're about to find out in 3, 2, 2, 1. Tetris. Of course, both of these teams, you know, the Millionaires currently, they're looking to be the first team ever to win back-to-back seasons of Gauntlet here. The Wavey ones, they've already improved on their standing since last year. Last year, the Wavey ones placed 4th, losing to the Grandmasters in the semis, and then also losing the 3rd place match to the Stochastic squad. And they've already made a statement here this season. Once again, showing to be, I believe this is the 2nd season in a row that they placed 3rd in overall performance during the regular season. But not only that, they went on massive win streaks. So the Wavey ones has been able to show that they are just as strong as they were last season. Heck, even stronger. They're guaranteed a top 2 finish here in the playoffs. But of course, right now, their tournament life is on the line. They need to win this game in order to force a Game 5, a decider. And all that pressure stands on the weight of players like Morlando. Needs to get a stop here up against Vince. Winning that first match in a team match is always important. Kind of spells like the rest of the story. It determines how much pressure is going to be on you and your team. Vince right now, a couple of missteps. And gonna knock down the Tetris. Orlando playing a little bit with fire. Can still find a comfortable way to burn this out. And there it is. Tetris for Orlando. 172 to now 111. Of course, the Millionaires, you know, this upcoming season, you know, one big change for them is that they won't have SV as one of their players next season. SV is going to be promoted to a captain. So the remaining players that end up on the team are going to have to step up to, you know, help fill that gap that SV left behind. SV will be playing later tonight up against Burb. And that game's going to kind of determine what we are going to be going into in the latter parts of the match. Whether we can be looking at a situation where Sidney must win for sudden death, or if Miles must win for sudden death. There it is, Tetris for Vince, 174 to now 266. Morlando on a tear here. And is kind of channeling his inner Quaid, going for a column 5 and knocks it down. There is Tetris for Vince, 199 to now 288. Another Tetris for Vince, and another column 5 for Morlando. Another Tetris for Vince. Orlando's going to get cleaned up and go get set up in column 1, it seems. Or not column 1, column 10. It can be column 1, depending on which way you look at it. If you read, you know, right to left instead of left to right. So it'd be column 1 in that instance. But 340 for Morlando, 251 for Vince. Morlando just playing incredibly solid Tetris here. And actually is in that 550, maybe even 570k territory range. But all right, that's actually perfect pieces. In the midst of a drought here, then set up for a dirty, is committed for it. Unfortunately, the eyepiece just did not come. Both players kind of experiencing a drought at similar timings there. And they aren't on same piece sets. So just RNG trying to synchronize the pain that both of these players are going to have to experience. And speaking about experiencing pain right now, Morlando in another drought situation has ample opportunities to burn down. And after 34 pieces, Morlando finally gets a long bar, not a Tetris. There's the Tetris for Morlando. The lead has shrunken slightly, but Vince has also kind of had to deal with a lot of tough situations. And oh man, look at all those long bars for Vince, and none of them could have been used for a Tetris. course, down at the bottom, you can see that that is their Tetris rate. 58% Tetris rate for Morlando and Vince at 41%. No Tetris for Vince. $364 to now $450 or $479. Vince is going to transition at $374. Morlando at $503. Vince in the midst of a 30-piece drought. Morlando actually experiencing some minor complications. There's the Tetris for Vince. And Morlando now just trying to survive. Morlando tops out here. Vince can pull off a chase down. There's another Tetris for Vince, starting to make some headway here. 439 and now 539. But Morlando... Oh, no, Morlando's just going to burn... No, maybe Morlando's ghost for this. No, it's just going to burn it out. Looks like there was a couple opportunities to try and get set up, but Morlando decided against it. And I like Vince's approach here, trying to build out that left. And just going to take the triple. Morlando still in survival zone, but might be getting out of it shortly. Nice delay burn over there for Vince. Of course, both of these players have gotten a max. And a dirty Tetris for Morlando. Didn't see that one coming. But a counter Tetris for Vince. Morlando has cleaned up the stack, so now both players are on level playing field. Well, not anymore. Morlando has to do a little bit more burning. Vince knocks in a Tetris, actually managing to make good on the comeback so far. Vince Tetris ready. And oh no, those pieces aren't ideal. Vince takes a double. Tetris for Vince. 549 and now 604. Morlando experiencing more complications. Vince now trying to get the stack under control again. And Morlando setting up for a column 3. Knocks down a Tetris. 640 to now 558 or 556. Vince Tetris ready. There it is. Tetris for Vince. Both players just playing incredible 19. Vince might... No, it's just going to burn it out. Very disciplined play. Beautiful delay burn. Vince's Tetris ready. Down by 50,000 points. There it is. Tetris for Vince, but Tetris for Morlando. Amazing game this is. Vince's Tetris ready. Tetris for Vince. 656 to now 681. Morlando in a little bit of trouble. Doing everything possible to stay alive. Morlando goes for the burn. Gets the eyepiece and gets it over. But oh, Vince also in trouble. Needs to find a way to get access to that hole. Morlando doing the best that he can to survive. Vince may have a chase down here. All right, Morlando tops out at 717. Vince, you need to get to 718. At this point, I believe this is line outable. And a dirty Tetris is going to do it. What a comeback from Vince. Absolutely insane game from both of them. Vince down by 150,000 points at one point and was managed to hunker down and make good on the comeback. Game 2 goes to Vince. And oh, Vince almost set up a last Tetris 2 for an 800k. Wow, what a game. Truly phenomenal. Both players are ready for game number 3. Let's go and count them down. Which of these players is going to take the advantage going into game 4? Is it going to be Morlando or is it going to be Vince? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. I mean, we talk about, you know, insane games. Morlando played a phenomenal game, had the advantage at post-transition. In fact, had a substantial advantage at post-transition. We're talking about almost a 150,000 point lead. And that means that Vince really came through on the post-transition and outplayed. Hold on one second. Vince running into a massive drought. Oh my gosh. That's a gauntlet drought. 40 pieces to start the game off with. After 47 pieces, Vince finally gets a long bar, but needs another one. Hold on, Vince might be finding some way. And no, Vince is going to have an early top out. Morlando takes game number 3. That was a 47-piece drought. I mean, there's not much you can do in that situation. Yeah, once a dry weller, always a dry weller, right? Both players are ready to go into game number 4. Vince has to win this in order to bring us to a decider. Morlando needs to win this to tie up the set. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Yeah, we be seeing some brutal droughts on Gauntlet here. But as far as things go, it's like both of these players are... Oh, Morlando running into a little bit of a drought. But unlike in Vince's situation, this is definitely more manageable to survive. Okay, we're already in the 20s. Okay, 28 pieces, so not as intense. But RNG was going to try and make good, try and equalize both of these droughts that both players had received in the past 2 games. But Tetris for Vince. And Tetris for Morlando. Vince right now 1-0 or 131. Morlando able to take a small advantage here. And Morlando having to commit to a couple more burns. Vince able to take a lead. And, oh, Morlando goes for the tuck. Needs to commit to a couple of burns here. Decides to open up the well. Throwing those O pieces over. And, oh no, Morlando is actually in some trouble. Good pieces over there for Morlando. RNG giving Morlando a lifeline with that exact sequence of pieces. Vince going to be able to maintain around a Tetris lead. A little bit under a Tetris lead, actually. And there it is, Tetris for Morlando. And, oh, Vince deciding to keep it clean. There it is, Tetris for Vince. 228 to now 212. Vince having to commit to a couple of burns here. Both players actually experiencing some droughts. There's the long bar for Vince, and there's the long bar for Morlando. 242 to now 260. Another Tetris for Vince. Morlando with a Vitz setup. Executes on the Vitz, and Tetris for Vince. And this is going to take the triple. So we got a really close game here. Separated by a Tetris in Morlando's favor. Morlando, of course, ahead in lines as well. Here's Tetris for Vince. Morlando now having to do some burning. It's definitely not a tedious situation. And Vince knocks down a Tetris LJ dependent. Creates a nice delayed burn. And there it is, another Tetris for Vince. 383 to now 342. And Morlando's still building up a little bit high. And Vince is actually taking advantage of this here. There it is, Tetris for Vince, 430 to now 373. Make that 396 as Morlando cleans up the board. And we get closer and closer to transition. Morlando can try and grab 4 more, assuming perfect play. And in the game of Tetris, perfect play is never to be assumed. There's another Tetris for Morlando and a Tetris for Vince. 3 potential Tetrises left for Vince and 1 left for Morlando. There is Tetris for Vince. 2 more potentially left. And Morlando is going to transition at 488. Vince can try and grab 1 more without committing any burn, or 1 more while committing a burn. And it's going to commit more than 1 burn. Tetris ready, but oh no, we get a drought right before transition. Scary situation for Vince. Gets the well open and just going to take the triple. Morlando kind of needs this eyepiece sooner than later. Now has to deal with this situation. Vince is Tetris ready. Holding up for the long bar. Nice pieces over there for Vince. Goes for the tuck and able to get the long bar for a Tetris. Taking the lead, and Morlando's going to top out at 532. We are going to a decider. All right, we are actually got readies from both players, so we're gonna head straight into our decider. Let's go ahead and count them down. Game number 5. Here it is in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Morlando needs to win this to equalize the set and take a little pressure off of Burb in the next match. However, if Vince wins this, the Millionaires will be 1 game away, or 1 match away from winning the playoffs. And oh no, Vince already experiencing some early turbulence, and same for Morlando. Both players, oh, Vince eyepiece dependent, gets an eyepiece. And getting great pieces to try and help navigate through this double J piece dependent. Fills in both J piece dependencies, creates another. Vince is set up for a Tetris, and it's just going to take the triple, followed up by a double, maintain a clean stack. And there it is, Tetris for Vince. Impressive survival from both players. Morlando also having to deal with an equally turbulent situation. But Morlando does have a lead here, just under a Tetris. And here we go, another drought for Vince. 74,000 now for Vince. 104 from Orlando. And looks like both players are in a more comfortable situation than what we experienced in the opener. Vince is having to do a little bit more burning, though. And right now, man, this is looking tough. Orlando finds a way to open up the well, but Vince has managed to make a comeback. Down by now a Tetris and a half as opposed to being down by 2 Tetrises. And wow, Orlando going for the Vits. A little bit aggressive. Tetris for Vince. 186 for Orlando here at 60 lines. 152, make that 175 for Vince at 64 lines. Vince looking for ideal pieces here. J piece dependent. Still would like a J piece to fill in that dependency in column 4-5. Gets a J piece and an I piece for the Tetris. 200,000 now, 231. Make that 254. Orlando knocks down another Tetris. And triple long bar over there for Vince. And was not Tetris ready, so couldn't utilize any of them, but can utilize that one. And as of right now, Orlando is holding on to this lead. Has an iron grip on this lead so far. Holding out for the right pieces. Gonna burn a double. Vince couldn't utilize that long bar for the Tetris. He's gonna decide to get that left side dealt with first. There is Tetris for Vince. Orlando not gonna be able to score until that hole is dealt with. Possibly gonna go for row 2 now. There it is, Tetris for Orlando and Tetris for Vince. Has successfully cut the lead down to 58. Well, it was cut down to 38,000 points. There it is, yeah, 36,000 point lead for Orlando. And, ooh, tricky pieces for Vince. Vince just having to stack those pieces on top of each other. Eyepiece dependent now. But I like the way that Vince is going to try and go about and solving this. The right pieces fall. Vince can be in an ideal situation. And, oh, a little bit of a hang. Able to slide that underneath. Beautiful triple. Gonna try and clean this out with a specific piece. Those pieces did not come. Vince now J piece dependent. Converts the dependency. Needs an L or a J. Now is in need of an L. Gets an I piece instead. L or J will work here. Now needs an L. Vince is in trouble. Needs an I piece. Gets the I piece to the right. Finds a way to burn down Orlando now. Almost up to a 100,000 point lead. Good burns from Vince. Amazing survival. And ooh, just tricky decisions right there. This is a tough Z piece to have to deal with. Vince now, very precarious situation. Only 12 lines left till transition. Nice double. 8 lines remain. 6 lines left for Vince. Orlando has already transitioned at 460. Vince will transition in one more line. Is going to have to dig. Middle of the stack. Needs to get an eyepiece or something to help bring the stack down. Needs to get it over to the left. Nicely done. Still would like another eyepiece. Goes for a couple of flat placements. Can he get the eyepiece over? Yes, he can. And there it is. That's a triple. Vince is going to stay alive here in the decider. But oh, Orlando now. Orlando experiencing some turbulence. That hang to the left-hand side. Orlando's going to top out at 501. Vince, you need to get to 502,000. All the time left in the world. $502,000 is the score that Vince needs. 137,000 points. This is the decider. Vince is going to take a triple. Needs to deal with that dependency somehow. It's just going to bring the stack down. Very respectful play here from Vince. Looks like he's getting set up. It's going to take another triple. Doesn't like the way that the board is. 120,000 points remain. Nice double here. We still have plenty of time left here in the post-transition. And, ooh, these pieces are starting to get a little bit uncomfortable. Almost 100,000 points remain. And, oh no, the accidental double flip. This is scary. That's a great eyepiece. That left side is a problem. And oh, the hang! And Vince not able to get anything over with dash. Morlando takes game number 5. And the Wavy ones tie up the series 1-1. Or tie up the set 1-1 rather. Just after making that double flip, the recovery was just incredibly difficult to make. But what a set by both Morlando and Vince. Up next, we're going to try and get SV and Burb up. Hold on one second. I don't know why the timer wasn't going. Oh, looks like Burb is in. And SV will be joining shortly. Yes! Alright. Had me holding my breath there for a second. You're in yesterday, or not yesterday, the last match on Wednesday. Or not Wednesday, Sunday. Bro, I just like blundered twice in a row. You'll understand why I said that. All right, just waiting on SV's cam, and we'll be good to go. All right, got SV's cam. Never mind, the cam link died, I think. Yeah, cam link's dead. There we go. SV's cam's working. And it would seem as if the gameplay working too. So, all good. When both players are ready, then we can get match number 3 underway. Ooh. Let me apply to this job. Wait, is this remote? No, it's not. Tragic. All right. We got it ready from both of our next players. So let's go ahead and get them countdown. Game number 1 of match number 3. Millionaires and not Drywallers. Wavy ones are tied. Who's gonna break that tie? We're about to find out. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And what a close game number or match number 2 we had between Vince and Morlando. And it was very crucial for Morlando to win that match. Because now Burb isn't necessarily on as much pressure to win as what would have happened had Morlando lost. Either way, the captain is going to be a very crucial role in deciding which one of these teams wins, whether we end the finals today or if we go to a game or a match 5 on Sunday. And I believe this is the first time where, at least in this particular matchup, we have both players that are utilizing the rolling play style. SV now trying to get this open. Tough O piece there. Nice delay burn setup. Burb, 120,000 now in the lead. Of course, Burb, one of our premier commentators for our Gauntlet team matches throughout the regular season. I believe he'll be making a return next season on commentary. The typical Burb GD pair. But to get things started, Burb having a easy time here. Up to a... Well, was up to a Tetris lead. Well, players actually having to deal with a drought. As we have already gotten the long bar, finally Burb gets the Tetris as well, maintaining just under a 1 Tetris lead. There's Tetris for SB. Looks like going to try and maintain row 2 from here on out. Definitely was experiencing some pretty turbulent pieces. Burb, on the other hand, only having to deal with the occasional droughts now and then. Still can be a dangerous situation. Just because you have the ability to roll doesn't necessarily mean that you are invincible. So you do gotta be very cautious with how you decide to play your pieces. Oh, I like that setup over there from SV. Burb, 250,000. Make that 273,000 at 67 lines. SV at 250,000 at 68 lines. So 1 Tetris lead for Burb here. Very close game. Of course, SV looking to keep things strong. Has only lost 1 match during the playoffs and no matches during the regular season. Burb, on the other hand, has also shown up in the playoffs and has played phenomenally up against all of his opponents. There's a Tetris for Burb. Gonna have to deal with that hole, so is gonna probably have to take a triple at least in order to get back into Tetris scoring position, and will definitely like to take a triple. The stack is getting uncomfortably high for both players. There's a double. Tetris for SV. Burb waiting on the long bar. Long bar's not showing up. There's a long bar used to at least help burn that out. And there's a long bar for a triple. SV has successfully taken the lead. Burb takes it right back. And interesting placements over there for SV. Looks like was looking for the most efficient way to solve this. A lot of overhangs, a lot of tucks, and all being executed flawlessly. 399 for Burb, 391. Make that 414 for SV. Burb with a small misdrop. He's going to be able to knock down a couple of Tetrises, but now needs to spend a little bit of time burning this out. Love to get an S piece here. Now is looking for an L. And unfortunately, RNG just isn't that kind to give the most ideal pieces. However, J or an I works here perfectly. Double L dependent now. And Burb running into a lot of complicated scenarios, and SV also kind of getting into some complicated territory. Small little adjustment for SV. SV, wow, the delay burn setups up this high. And we are closing in on transition. Well is open for SV. Burb fighting for survival. There it is. Tetris for SV. Clean stack. And another Tetris for SV. Burb gets a much wanted triple. Both players have one Tetris left that can be achieved here. And SV is going to transition at 539,000. Burb transitions at 454,000. Set up for row 3. There's row 3 Tetris. Down by 60,000 points here early into the transition. SV going aggressive. Knocks down a Tetris. Just able to throw those pieces all the way over to the left. Oh, probably tried to throw that a little bit too high. SV now burns a triple. Has no other burns available. What? Amazing play over there from SV. Double flip to burn, to skim the single and knock down not one, but two quick Tetrises to stay alive. Burb, on the other hand, down by 130,000 points. And Burb is still trying to survive. SV set up for a dirty Tetris. There it is, Tetris for SV. Increasing the lead as Burb is still trying to get in Tetris ready in this position. Finally opens up the well, holding out for the long bar. JP's dependent as well. And oh my gosh, S-burst! Burb having to maneuver pieces around this S-spire and is doing so masterfully. Great flat burn right there. SV set up for a column 4. Burb still trying to fight for survival and is making a valiant effort. L piece dependent. Fills in dependency with an I piece. Great sequence of burns. Now eyepiece dependent on the right side. Gets the eyepiece. SV going for the column 4 still. The sheer aggression from SV. Burb almost out. There's a Tetris for SV. Set up for another. Burb holding out for the right pieces. And just like that, Burb one line away from being Tetris ready. Opens up the well. Both players now having to fight through some tough pieces. And there's a Tetris for Burb. Down by 200,000 points, though. SV now finally having to commit to some burns. Not going to play this too aggressively. Still looking for the long bar. Burb is starting to fire back. Able to knock down a Tetris. Down by 180,000 now. But SV knocks down a Tetris. 805 to now 539. Another Tetris for SV. Burb is back in a tight dig situation. Had to go through a multi-level dig before. And this one looks like it's going to end a lot sooner. Well is open. Tetris for Burb. 629 to now 839. SV, beautiful double right there. Burb has an opportunity. SV spending some time burning this out. There's a Tetris for Burb and a Tetris for SV. 881 to now 695. Nice adjustment over there for SV. Burb knocks down a triple, but now has to put up with all these different pieces. Needs to get in a scoring position soon, or at least have an ideal board before 29. There it is, Tetris for SV. 924. Oh, hangs a couple pieces to the left. And oh no, that left is dangerous. SV needs the eyepiece, needs something to bring the stack down. Trying to go for a Hail Mary and can't get the eyepiece over. All right, Burb, you need to get 926,000. However, the board isn't necessarily ideal. Burb finding ways to navigate through this. Has to get 200,000 points on 29. It's set up for a dirty 29 Tetris, but it's not going to happen. Burb tops out at 728. Game 1 goes to SV. What a game. Monthly Tetris, thank you so much for the raid. You guys raided just in the heat of Game 1 between SV and Burb, our third match for tonight's team matchup. There is not a level cap. Level cap doesn't get implemented into next season, and they are playing on NES controllers. Dipsy. We do have it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 2. SV with some wild plays, Bird with some insane survival. Can we see a repeat? We're about to find out. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Incredible game from both players. SV, of course, with the sheer aggression. And who can forget that one that one skim, utilizing the J with the double flip in order to score that Tetris and bring the stack down into a more survivable position. It was truly insane. And of course, you know, on Burb's side, the survival was immaculate. All the placements that were needed in order for Burb to take that game as far as he did were executed flawlessly. But of course, that is just game number 1. A set can go up to 5 games like what we saw in match number 2 between Vince and Morlando. And it's going to be up to Burb to try and equalize the set, or SV can bring us up 2-0 and bring the Millionaires one step closer to winning the playoffs. Burb getting up a bit high, but knocks down a Tetris, bringing the stack down. SV is going to be able to take a small advantage here, up by around a Tetris and a half lead. And looks like SV now running into some complicated scenarios. In the middle of a drought and having to deal with this. Beautiful solve from SV. There's the Tetris for SV and a Vitz left stack here. Burb now 174 lines, SV 194, or not 174 lines, 174,000. SV at 194,000. Burb is Tetris ready, but has an L piece in the stack. Not an L piece dependency, a literal L piece. So I'd like to get access to that L piece sooner than later. There's the Tetris over there for Burb, back into the lead. $205 for SV, $209 for Burb. There's another Tetris for SV, $252. Burb almost out of this, and another Tetris for SV. You know, SV is one of those players, if you give him any room, he will take it and build up 100,000 point leads. And Burb does get an eyepiece filling the dependency, but this is still not a Tetris. And, oh, covers up the well right as soon as the long bar came as well. All right, there's a triple. Burb can now start scoring for Tetrises, and SV is, like I said, built up almost a 100,000 point lead. $367 and now $248. Burb once again having to do some more burning, able to roll those pieces over to the left. Definitely a risky play. And Burb now still not able to find ideal pieces to continuously score Tetrises. LJ dependent. Burb survival is on point, but given SV all this time to build up a lead, we're talking about almost a 170,000 point lead before we even hit transition. Couple of quick Tetrises for Burb is going to cut the lead down a bit. But SV brings the lead back up to 150,000. 332 for Burb, 483 for SV. And tricky situation kind of developing for SV. There is going to be a hole generated. And SV now in a little bit of trouble. Holding out for... Oh, gets the... Oh my gosh! That almost hung! Getting the eyepiece over. 514 for SV. Burb also in trouble. I saw the literal frame where it looked like the eyepiece was on top of where it was. That is insane. 2 quick Tetrises for SV. Brings them up to 561, and SV gonna transition with a dirty Tetris at 585. And Burb transitions at 391. SV just going to continuously set up these aggressive multi-row different column Tetrises. There's another Tetris for Burb. SV experiencing some tribulation. This play style is definitely volatile. You can either reap massive rewards or suffer massive consequences. SV opens up this well. Column 3 is set up. There it is. Tetris for SV. 646. And another Tetris for SV. 672. Burb is at now 480. And Burb also playing the same game as SV. Going for these elevated center wells. Looking for the right pieces. And it's just not to any avail. Both players now trying to get access. Burb is in some trouble. Needs to get access to that hole in column 6. Nice flat burns. Opens up the well. Another dirty Tetris for SV. What is going on? This isn't the clean Tetris that you're used to seeing. This is just dirty. I mean, it's best street Tetris. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch both of these players just deal with these off centers or these center well stacks and being able to survive. However, SV right now, 240,000 point lead. Burb is still struggling to find success. And now Burb is going to top it at 529. SV is good for game number 2. Bro, what the heck was that? Oh my gosh. True, if never let them know your next never let them know your next well. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That was some of the most insane Tetris play I've seen. Like, normally you'll have like one player that's like playing, you know, clean right low Tetrises, and another player is like doing like some kind of dig or something. In this game, they were both just doing whatever. Oh my gosh. Wow. And it looks like SV gonna try and go for the 1.1. Might be trying to go for a 1.2 here. Look at this, even going for these center low Tetrises on 29 and and the consistency of the 5 taps as well. Absolutely ridiculous game. But when both players are ready, we can get game number 3 counted down. All right, we got it ready from SV and Burb. Let's go ahead and count them down. Are we going to see another insane game like that, or are things going to be a little bit more tame? I hope not. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I mean, really, there's no way to kind of explain what we just witnessed there. Both of these players, they were surviving some crazy high situations. SV going for center well, doesn't care what happens. Burb also going for center wells, you know, 5 high. And, you know, 5 high inherently doesn't sound that high, but when you consider level 19 speeds and just the fact that it's a center well, which is by definition harder to maintain than your right well or even arguably your left well, seeing both of these players play at just that caliber almost had me speechless. It is true insanity. But let's see how things develop here in this game. And of course, you know, Burb next season, you can already see that Burb is going to be one of the key players for the Wavey Ones. Assuming that Burb does want to stay on the Wavey Ones team. And SV, I think that's one of the craziest things here that we're going to experience in Gauntlet Ascension next season is that, you know, SV joined the season as a 1.1 player and almost a year later is going to become a captain of the team. Start things off, Burb with the advantage here. Up by 1 Tetris. And kind of doing, ooh. SV. Are we going to see the T-spin tuck? Yes, look at that. A double tuck over there utilizing that L and then the spin tuck to help clean up the stack. And a line spin. SV bringing out all the fancy tricks here. And, ooh, I like where SV is going with that smart placement. Burb knocks down the Tetris. We're separated by a 1.5. Roughly around the same line count, so this is as even as you can really get between these two. And, oh my gosh! Wow, that adjustment! The Corion SZ adjustment at the last possible second. To be fair, there was nothing wrong with the initial placement, but the adjustment just made it a little bit more efficient. And just a small bit of efficiency can lead to just you being able to build up a lead up against your opponent. And speaking about SV's opponent, Burb right now is having to get out of this situation. Needs to get those pieces and needs to carefully and meticulously place them. Eyepiece to pin it. Burb's gonna have to commit. Nice. Hits the 5-tap. Look at these rolls from Burb. And gets the L piece. Needs an L or a J. Neither comes. Throws the eyepiece all the way over to the left. L or J needed once again. Gets an L piece. Alright, that works. J piece needed. Had to go for a flat T placement. But the hope is still alive. And Burb hangs it on the left-hand side. There's nothing that can be done. Burb tops it at 301. SV takes game number 3. Completing the sweep, and the Millionaires now go up 2-1. Up next, we're going to have our captain's match. So, stick around. Don't go anywhere. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Burb and SV played a phenomenal match. And I personally can't wait to see how Burb is going to play next season. Because probably, you know, you're going to have the likes of Burb going up against players like, oh, wait. I don't know why I did that. But let's get our captain's match set up. But of course, if you are interested in joining next season of Classic Tetris Gauntlet, which will otherwise be known as Classic Tetris Gauntlet Ascension. You can join the Gauntlet Discord server. Registration will be opening up tonight after this match. Everyone that tries out will play in a league or a division of some sort. So even if you aren't like what you just witnessed between SV and Burb, even if you're a brand new player, you'll be able to join in the Mino League, receive personalized coaching from yours truly, and be able to track your progress while playing for a team. Next season, we're going to have team jerseys and everything. So it's going to be exciting. If you want to take part, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. But please, bear with me while I get things set up. Yeah. The goal, at least for, I'll take a little bit, talking. The goal for this upcoming season is to allow players, entry-level players, a chance to get into a highly competitive environment without being, necessarily intimidated by, CTM, where there's, like all these different tiers. Their way, but also getting you into a high competitive environment. I want to help get a lot of people to a comfortable skill level to where they'll be able to participate in a lot of these events. And, one of the best ways to do that is for me to coach. Normally I charged for my coaching, but I'm going to be offering it up for free for certain players that, do certain things. More details will be, of course, announced in the description, or not the description, the Discord server below. Or not below, what? English. But, yeah. And of course, you'll be seeing a lot more Gauntlet and hey yo, hold on. Need to find the cam. You guys want to see some hyperspeed 20? Well, hold on. I'm not sure if I can get this scene set up fast enough. Yeah. That was too slow. Of course, you want to contribute to the match arena. All you have to do is type !CTG match arena. We are currently at 1,100 prize pool this season. And next season, we're definitely going to try and raise more and everything. But it's going to be exciting. Well, when both of these players are ready, then we can get our match underway. Actually, hold on. Give me like 5 minutes. Just give me a couple minutes, everyone. All right, thank you for being patient. Went to go grab some water. Stay hydrated, folks. Anyways, both players are ready. So let's go ahead and... What the heck? Let's go ahead and get these players counted down. This is the captain's match. Sidnev has to win this match in order to go to sudden death. If Miles wins, then the Millionaires win the playoffs. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go. Game number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Definitely a tough situation here for Sidnev. Orlando did allow for this to happen and for it to not be a guaranteed victory for Miles. Or not just Miles, but Miles and the Millionaires following a eventual defeat by Burb. Now it's up to Sidnev to give the Wavey ones one last chance here to force a match number 5. And to start things off, things are looking pretty stable here. Miles in the midst of a 27-piece drought. And there it is, Tetris for Miles. Gonna be trailing by 1 Tetris here early on. And things are looking just really clean and stable. Neither player really experiencing too much tribulations. As a matter of fact, Sidnev has only taken 1 burn line. And And Miles, nice little A that was kind of built up right there. You'll have to see the creative approaches. But Sidnev still with only one burn line. We saw this happen a lot in the previous match. Sidnev is going to be playing a little bit with fire here. Finds a way to bring the stack down. There's Tetris for Miles. Hits the T-spin as well. $204 for Miles, $277 for Sidnev. Sidnev opens up the well, and there it is, Tetris for Sidnev. Sidnev, of course, 75,000 point lead. Maybe one Tetris less in terms of pace. $262 now for Miles, $359 for Sidnev. This is a great game here. $428 now for Sidnev, $338. Both players have now kind of gotten to a pretty comfortable position here. $499 for Sidnev. We are looking at a 650 transition right now for Sidnev here in game number one. Another Tetris for Sidnev. 547 to now 433. Make that 570. Instead of knocking down a couple of quick Tetrises, Miles is slightly behind in lines, running into a drought. Wanted to avoid creating a specific dependency. Is set up for a dirty Tetris instead. 30-piece drought and counting for Miles. And, oh no. And no Tetris over there for Miles. Miles is going to top out, so Sidnev is good for game number one. All right, we got it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go. Game number two in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So, of course, going to take the first game. A small misdrop, but gets an eyepiece to fix said misdrop. Miles running into a 39-piece drought, just couldn't get the long bar here. But looks like both players are going to be in a pretty comfortable position. Miles decides to go for the tuck. Setting up quite a bit of overhangs. And now players are going to have to find a way to navigate through this. Sinev actually is able to find a way rather quickly. Miles opens up the well, fills in JP's dependency, just waiting on the long bar now. 21-piece drought and counting. There's Tetris for Miles, 122 to now 162. Sinev maintaining a high level of efficiency here in the opener. Kind of similar to what we saw in game number 1, but not necessarily one burn line efficient. .232 now for Sinev. Amazing score to have here at 45 lines. Miles getting set up here. Tetris ready. Just waiting on the long bar. Both players are. Miles now trailing by 80,000 points early on. Sinev, of course, slightly ahead in lines, but has a true deficit of around almost 60,000 points. Just being a little bit efficient. Well, not a little bit, a lot of bit efficient over here for Sinev. 300,000 before 60 lines. You're looking into the 650k transition territory with a score like this. Both players now run into a drought. Sinev finds the eyepiece. Miles is still looking. Having to take a lot of triples here. And once again, another 30-piece drought for Miles. And this drought is going to exceed the previous drought. 42 pieces. Finally, after 45 pieces, Miles gets the long bar. And then RNG fell bad and gives another one shortly after. $394 now for Sinev. $348 for Miles. No Tetris for Sinev. We are nearing level 19. A little under 40 lines away. Tetris for Miles. Another Tetris for Miles. Sinev having to actually commit some burns here. So just like that, Miles is actually caught back up. At most can be down by around, I want to say 36,000 points. That's at the most. And both players running into another drought. Miles knocks in a Tetris and takes the lead. Sinev kind of getting a small taste of what Miles had to deal with in the last 2 games, but does score the Tetris and gets another one. $510, make that 533 for Miles, 530 for Sinev. Another Tetris for Miles. Can try and go for 2 more. Sinev can also try and go for 2 more. Miles only has 1 burn to do so. It looks like Miles is going to have to take that burn eventually. There's a Tetris for Miles. And Miles transitions at 579. Sidnev transitions at 599. One Tetris in the lead above Miles. There's another Tetris for Miles. Sidnev answers back with one of his own. 625 to now 606. Another Tetris for Miles. Sidnev 1 Mino shy of being Tetris ready. And there it is, Tetris for Sidnev, or for Miles now. Sidnev Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar. Miles trying to get the board back into a Tetris scoring position. Another Tetris for Sidnev, back into the lead. Back and forth here early on level 20. Another Tetris for Sidnev. 40,000 point lead. Now Miles gets Tetris ready. Gets the perfect J piece. Has to take that double. Holding out for the I piece here. Wants the lower left side. There it is, Tetris for Miles and Tetris for Sidnev. 755 to now 690. There's another Tetris over there for Miles. 718 and now 756. Another Tetris for Miles and a counter Tetris for Sidnev. Back and forth here, separated by 39,000 points. Around 2 Tetrises at this range. Another Tetris for Miles. Sidnev is Tetris ready. Holding out for the long bar. Gets a perfect O piece. Great set of pieces there. Miles is Tetris ready as well. Both players knock down a Tetris. 802 to now 814. Sidnev clean board. Miles gonna create the overhang. Gets 2 pieces for a tuck. Nice little bits over there for Sidnev. Both players Tetris ready. There is a Tetris for Miles. Sidnev knocks one down as well. 872 to now 833. Insanely intense game right now. Tetris over there for Miles after avoiding taking that accidental burn. Nice placements. Another Tetris for Sidnev. Continuing to put the pressure on Miles here. Miles takes the skim. Tetris ready. 894 to now 935. There it is. Another Tetris for Miles. Sidnev is Tetris ready. Another Tetris for Miles into the lead briefly before Sidnev takes it right back. Nice adjustment over there for Miles as well. Sidnev now Tetris ready, but so is Miles. Both of these players just knocking down Tetrises back and forth. As opposed to what we saw between Burb and SV, where we saw some chaotic Tetrising. We had some clean 19 play, but Miles, a little bit of a judgment error right there. Accidentally double flipped the piece, saw the delay burn that he was going to try and go for. And now this is going to be very costly. Unless Miles can get an L piece. No, not possible. Sidnev now goes up to 100,000 point lead. Miles avoids setting up the bits. Another Tetris for Sidnev, just continuing to put the pressure on Miles here. Both players have already reached over 1 million points. Sidnev already at 1.1 territory. Miles is at 1,039,000. There it is, Miles, Tetris ready. Same can be said for Sidnev. Both players having to run into a drought. Miles running into some trouble. Gets an I piece, followed up by a J. Perfect combination of pieces. 2 Tetrises remain for Miles here on level 28. 1 Tetris remains for Sidnev. There's a Tetris for Miles. And it's just going to get the board in a better state. 1.1 million over here for Miles. Sidnev is at 1,020,000 or 1.2 million. And Miles hangs. Sidnev goes up to a 2-0 advantage. Just incredible clean play all throughout the post-transition over there for Sidnev. Both players were just about even on the pre-transition, but it was the post-transition that set them apart. Oh, my bad. When both players are ready, we can get this next match underway. Once we have it ready from Sidnev, we can get game number 3 underway. If Sidnev wins this, we go into sudden death. All right, we got it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and count them down. Miles is down 2-0. Needs to win this matchup against, or game up against Sidnev to extend the set. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And both players, what? That just, unless I'm seeing things, I believe that was a double T-spin from both of the players. Unless it was just a T-spin from Sidnev and I was just seeing things, but doesn't matter. Both of these players off to a pretty good opener here. Sidnev not with the insane 90% Tetris rate here in the beginning. And Sidnev kind of experiencing some minor complications. Actually, both players not necessarily in a comfortable board state. Miles does get the well open, and Sidnev actually passes up on the Tetris and fills in the long bar dependency instead. There's nothing wrong with that, but kind of expected for Sidnev to go for the Tetris just because of how aggressive in nature Sidnev's play generally is. Sidnev is going to be able to have an opportunity to go into the lead here. $179 now for Miles, $222 for Sidnev. Miles, ooh, Sidnev going for the Vits, and then deciding to go for the Tetris instead of fill in said Vits. $245 to now $203. $226 now $267. And, oh, nice 5 below over there from Sidnev. Nicely executed. Sidnev sets up a T-spin. And at this point, Sidnev's just going up against all rules classic Tetris. Don't intentionally set up T-spins. Don't set up delayed bits. And so far, it's working. And, oh, small misdrop over there for Miles. And it's going to be a little bit tricky. Miles can still find a way to dig out of this. We have plenty of time till level 19. The issue is Sidnev can build up a lead. Oh, nice delay burn. A bit risky. Nice delayed burn with the I spin over there for Sidnev. Up to 100,000 point leave here. And Miles still trying to get out of this. Sets up a delay burn. Pieces were not completely ideal. And Miles just having to continue to perpetuate this, and oh. Nice double L dependent though. There's one L piece dependency filled. Oh no. Miles goes for the flat burn. 20 lines left till transition. Nice flat burn. Would love to get a J piece. Beautiful double flat burn using the L and J following each other. Just needs an I piece now. And just like that, Miles is going to stay alive just in time for transition. And Miles transitions at 380 or 368, knocks down a Tetris. However, Sidnev now having to deal with a precarious situation. And Sidnev's going to transition at 521, 121,000 points in the lead up against Miles. And we've seen how strong Sidnev's level 19 play has been in this set so far. Another Tetris for Miles. Sidnev, clean board. Another Tetris for Miles. 472 to now 573 following that Tetris from Sidnev. Miles going aggressive here. And oh, accidentally made a misdrop. Decides to tuck the piece underneath and deal with it afterwards. Sidnev back up to 120,000 point lead and is a full level behind. Another Tetris for Sidnev. Tetris for Sidnev, 510 to now 625. And a dirty Tetris for Sidnev and clean Tetris for Miles. And no, wait, Sidnev's just going to burn this out. Miles has an opportunity to close the gap slightly. Not by a lot, because this was a very clean dig. Miles looking for a piece to open up the well. Well is open. There it is, Tetris for Miles, 605 to now 720. 609 now to 721. Miles having to encounter some environmental RNG. And Miles just barely survives. Down by 168,000 and now has to dig. And Miles gets the eyepiece, burns a triple, followed up by a couple of singles, staying alive, but now almost down by 200,000. And Miles surviving this insane play right now, but Sidnev's just going to keep pouring on the pressure. Miles almost down to a scoring position. Just needs a couple more burns. L or J would be wanted here. That eyepiece works. Miles can finally start scoring again, and just in time. We are heading into level 28 for Miles. Down by 300,000 points right now. There it is, Tetris for Miles. One more remains before 29. There it is, Tetris for Miles. 758. Sidnev, on the other hand, 1,051,000. 1.1 million for Sidnev. Both players level 29 speeds. Miles is on level 30. And Sidnev known for going pretty aggressive on 29. So can really build up a massive lead here. And oh, Miles needs to hit the 5-tap. Hits the 5-tap. Sidnev, 300,000 point lead now. Level 31 here for Miles. And oh my gosh, the bits, but Miles is going to have to get pieces over to the right. Can he go for a flat burn? And Miles is going to top out. Sidnev with a more than 370,000 point lead forces us to go into sudden death. Sidnev going for a left flow Tetris on level 33. What? That 5-tap was immaculate. What the heck? the T-spin and knocks down a Tetris. Oh my gosh. Alright. Now it's over. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to get prepared for sudden death. We have our cam from our Millionaires player. Just need to confirm. Okay. We almost got everything set up. All right. We got it ready from both of our players. We can get our first game of sudden death underway. All right, for those of you that don't understand how sudden death works, it is... Hold on. For those of you that don't understand how sudden death works, it's relatively simple. Both teams need to win 2 of the next 3 games in order to take the match. Essentially, both teams send forth 3 players. These 3 players, the order and who they are not disclosed to the other team. So you could think of it sort of like some rock, paper, scissors. Though one player plays each other, or 2 players play each other in a best of 1. Whoever wins that best of 1 gets 1 heart for their team. The team with 2 hearts ends up taking sudden death. But whenever we have a ready from both of our participants that is in the first sudden death, then we'll be able to get things underway. Because they are currently warming up as we speak. But, ooh, that was a good one. Have you guys been enjoying the show, though? Yeah, that was a good... That was a good neck crack. Ooh. Sharky podcast. Seems like our 2 players should be almost done warming up. Playing 29. Who knows, we might see it come down to 29, but, you know, this is the last chance that the Wavey ones have. They have to win the sudden death, or else the Millionaires will take it. And if the Wavey ones take sudden death, this would be the 2nd year in a row that the Millionaires has gone to essentially a decider in the playoffs on the very last stage. I mean, last time it was almost a reverse sweep up against the Grandmasters, and if the Wavey ones can pull this off, it will be an almost reverse sweep now. Doesn't necessarily have the same energy as last season, whereas the Millionaires almost blew a 3-0 lead. But 2-0 is pretty substantial. All right, once we have it ready from our player from the Millionaires, we'll be able to swap over to the scene. True. Players from the Wavey ones, could you confirm that you are ready by readying up in Maxed Out Club? Bruh, I like accidentally kicked my tripod. Music dead? Really? Okay. That's interesting. Thanks for letting me know. Let me add a audio source real quick. Can you guys hear the music now? All right, there we go. Well, both of our players are ready, so let's count down our first match of sudden death. And your first two players are going to be SV versus Burb, a rematch. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. We've seen how these players can play with just such a volatile play style, but that was when they know that they have games to essentially quote-unquote give. This is sudden death. You only get one chance and one chance only. And Burb, not necessarily the idealist of starts, and oh, another misshot from Burb. It should be easy to downstack out of this. And Burb looks like going to survive this. Definitely not an ideal opener, as SV is going to be able to utilize this opportunity and start racking up some points fast. There is Tetris for SV. Another Tetris for SV. Burb is still not in a position to score Tetrises. Finally, after taking that triple, can go for row 2, but is now almost down 100,000 points. And a couple of tricky pieces for SV in order to maintain peak efficiency, but still finds a way. And oh, aggressive adjustment. SV decides to fill in the long bar dependency. There it is, Tetris for SV. Burb still going for row 2 here. There's another Tetris for SV. Burb wants to give the Wavey ones the best shot at winning this. Has to defeat SV here. And that's doing something that only one other player in the entirety of Gauntlet has managed to do in sudden death. And that was, of course, DMJ, the only player to have defeated SV this season. Albeit SV was feeling a bit under the weather. Still, DMJ was able to find some success. And wow, what a placement, creating the overhang intentionally. Tetris for SV, 268 to Burb's 127. More than double Burb's current points right now. There's Tetris for Burb. SV hits the S-spin and doesn't go for the triple. I mean, I should know better by now than to think that SV would go for a triple. Burb, on the other hand, running into a drought, 26 pieces and counting, and there's the line, or there's the eyepiece, 186 to now 360. SV still almost maintaining double Burb's score. Of course, as we get further into the game, that's not going to be no longer possible. But 172,000 point lead. There's Tetris for SV. A lot of Z pieces there. Hits the S-spin. Nice overhang Tetris for SV. Tetris for Burb. And ooh, SV running into a drought. Running out of ways to burn. Oh, the aggression! Oh no, SV doesn't get that piece all the way over to the left. Oh, the hang! There is a way, but it requires 2 long bars right now. Wait, I think it's impossible. SV tops out at 438. Burb needs to get to 439. Burb needs to chase down 157,000 more points. This is pivotal. We are nearing the transition. All right, Burb has brought the stack all the way down to the bottom. And all SV can do is just sit and watch. 439 is the score to beat. And Burb starting to get up a little bit. Nothing too serious. Just a couple holes being generated. It looks like Burb should be fine. There's a Tetris. 4 more remain. Three more remain. Two more is needed. One more and a little change will do it. Now one will do it. Or the line out can happen. Burb is set up. Nope, never mind. Had the opportunity to get set up. Couple more lines will do it. A triple is good enough. Or a double at this point. And there it is. Burb takes game 1 of sudden death. The Wavey ones need to win one more. We're just waiting on our player from the Wavey ones, and then we'll be able to get game number 2 of Sudden Death underway. Once we got it ready from our 2 players, and we can swap over and get match number 2 of Sudden Death, or game number 2 of Sudden Death underway. All right, looks like we do have a ready from both players. Burb has successfully pulled off the upset up against SV. But can Toby do the same up against Miles? Let's go ahead and count them down to game number 2, a Sudden Death. Match point for the Wavey ones. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And we gotta Toby, you're gonna have to recalibrate. All right, that all right, false start doesn't count. All right then. That's wild. All right, we got a re-ready from Toby. And we got it ready from Miles. Now, game 2, a Sudden Death begins in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right, to start things off here in Sudden Death. Both players have burned a double. We are tied. 71,000 to 71,000 is a Tetris for Miles. Ooh, nice adjustment. Currently, the Wavey ones are up 1-0 here in Sudden Death. If they win that second heart, we go to a game 5 planned for this Sunday. Miles having to do some burning here, so the tie will no longer be upheld. There is Tetris for Miles. Now needs to deal with these 2 holes on the stack. Oh, great adjustment over there for Miles. Toby currently with a 1 Tetris lead here. Running into some complications. In the middle of a 20-piece drought, but does get the long bar and knocks down the Tetris. Miles 225 now. Toby at 253. And Toby's just maintaining a slightly cleaner stack than Miles. That eyepiece in the center is going to be perfect. 1 Tetris lead for Toby here. Everything looks calm. Column 3 Tetris right there. Toby back up to a 41,000 point lead. Nice adjustment over there for Miles. And tricky left side. L piece dependent. His I piece a tad bit too late. Love to see. Actually, that piece combination almost works out flawlessly. If an S piece comes, came at piece too late for an ideal solve for Miles. But a left well could be in the making here. Toby knocks down Tetris 392 to now 332. And uncomfortable SZ combination over there for Miles. Hole going to be generated on row 4, so a Tetris won't be scored until that hole gets access. Or if Miles decides to go for a row 2. Either way, this is going to be setting Miles back a little bit. Toby built up an 80,000 point lead. There is Tetris for Miles. 405 to now 446. And another Tetris for Miles. Toby is in position as well. Miles looking for a J piece here. And close the gap all the way down to now just under a Tetris. Toby dealing with rough pieces here. Has to take another triple. Back up to it with Tetris lead because of said triple. As Miles is not in position to capitalize just yet. There it is, Tetris for Toby. Tetris for Miles. Both players 1 Tetris left possible here before level 19. Toby transitions at 527. Miles will transition at 503. 1 Tetris is all that separates them going into level 19. It's do or die for Miles and the Millionaires in this game. Toby needs to win this in order to guarantee the Wavey 1C at Game 5. There is Tetris for Miles, 555 to now 610. Toby also slightly ahead in lines as well. Miles sets up an S-flat delay burn. Nice burn. And Miles is Tetris ready, but so is Toby. 558 to now 613. Miles 1 Mino shot being Tetris ready. Couldn't utilize that long bar. Sets up a tuck and executes it perfectly. 592 to now 641. Both players clean stacks here on level 21. Toby has to burn into level 22. Miles clean, Tetris ready, and there it is, Tetris for Miles. But a Tetris for Toby, avoiding any advances being made on the score differential. Miles is Tetris ready. There it is, Tetris for Miles, 649 to now 677. And oh, the adjustment on that T for Miles. Nicely placed, and Tetris for Miles. Toby is still Tetris ready, but now has to deal with that kind of trimino gap that was created on column 3 and 4. Another Tetris for Miles, only down by 2,000 points. Toby's still trying to work through this. Miles looking for a good piece, doesn't want to go for a burn. Decided to go for the tuck with the T piece instead. Gonna clean up the stack. Down by 6,000 points. Toby is still trying to get the stack under control. Tetris for Miles back into the lead. Toby's still working on this board. And oh, that hang on the square. That could get deadly. Another Tetris for Miles. Toby's still working on the stack though. Still trying to find ways. That left side being able to be accessed for the time being. And Toby brings the stack down. Amazing survival. Not quite in a position to score Tetrises as Miles gets Tetris ready. 29 closes in. Toby going aggressive. Dirty Tetris for Toby. 777 for Toby. 810 for Miles. Miles holding out for the long bar. Tetris ready. Holding out for the long bar. Holding out for the long bar. And Toby's just going to give up. Toby tops out at 777. Miles has taken game number 2 of sudden death. And we go to a decider to potentially end all deciders between the Millionaires and the Wavey ones. Not an easy match for Miles at all. Had to fight almost all the way to 29 in order to secure it. But there's the max. No, we encourage all players to play, because you never know when there could be a game. Or like, it could be like a good game. Plus, a Wavy One's player said they need to use the restroom, so. players are warming up. Give me 1 second. I need to check something. Oh, snap. My apologies. We'll fix it in post. Sudden death, game number 3. It's do or die for Sidnev. O needs to win this in order to put the match away here for the rest of the season. O's going for row 3. Showing a tad bit of aggression. However, it looks like it's paying off. An eyepiece here would be perfect. Fortunately, it was a little bit late, so it's going to still have to commit to a couple more burns. Looking for a J piece, and there it is. 149 for Sidnev, 166 for O. A little bit of a fist pump right there. There's Tetris for O, 215 to now 172. Small misdrop from Sidnev. And, ooh, can we see a T spin tuck in the other direction? No, just gonna set up for a Z spin tuck instead and misses it. Tetris for O. Perfect opportunity to capitalize. Nice adjustment. Oh, Tetris ready. Gets the perfect S piece underneath as well. halfway through, just about halfway through the pre-transition. Oh, with a 60,000 point lead, just about. Also slightly ahead of Sidnev in terms of lines, so can be cut down to only 40,000. Oh, is Tetris ready? 307. There's another Tetris for O. Looks like almost didn't get the rotation. Nice adjustment. Another Tetris for O. Sidnev firing back. Down 35,000 points in pace. Sidnev going really with a lot of ambitious overhangs all over the stack. There's a Vitz able to get the J-piece all the way over to the left-hand side. Hits the spin. Executes the delayed burn. Tetris for O. Sidnev now going to have to do a minor amount of burning. Opens up the well with that double. Another Tetris for O. 400,000 to 322. There's Tetris for O. Sidnev at 367. Down by only 56,000 points. O's going to go for the conservative adjustment. Another quick Tetris from O. And right now, we are closing in on that 100 line mark. $494 to now $421. Nice setup for O. There it is, Tetris. 519. 468 now. Oh, now having to actually commit to a couple more burns here. Sidnev starting to make a comeback, down by 33,000 points. Oh, still trying to get access. And, ooh, creating a long bar dependency. Sidnev closes the gap now to only 12,000 points. Both players are at 118 lines. The transition looms. Oh, preparing the transition. Oh, it's set up for one last Tetris. There it is. Oh, transitions at 558. Set up for another Tetris. But it needs to get that isolated dependency filled. Sidnev transitions at 564. This is it. And oh my gosh. Oh, setting up. Okay. Finds a way to burn down. Deals with that left side. Perfect. Oh, that's going to burn out a double. O's just going to get the stack under control. Bring the stack down. Sidnev, on the other hand, set up for this Tetris in the middle of an 18-piece drought. Oh, does the adjustment. Goes for the center wall Tetris. Waiting on the long bar. There it is. Tetris for O. Still needs another long bar. Burns out that single. O can now get ready for Tetrises, down by 40,000 points. Sidnev knocks down another Tetris. Goes up to 670. Oh, goes for a conservative double. And there it is. Tetris for O. Sidnev having to do a lot of burns, so this is an opportunity. Beautiful burnout by Sidnev. Couple of quick Tetrises. 703 to now 663. Another Tetris over there for O. And Tetris for Sidnev. 730 now to 690. And a couple of tough pieces for O to have to deal with. Is going to be forced to commit some burns. Sidnev, on the other hand, almost Tetris ready. O set up for a column. 7. There, knocks it down. 721. Sidnev answers back. 759. Sidnev now Tetris ready. O. Tetris ready as well. Both players knocked down a Tetris. Lead doesn't change. Oh, Tetris ready now. Sidnev the same. O goes for a skim. Both players holding out for the long bar. Tetris for O. Sidnev holding out for one as well. Runs into a small drop, but opens up the well just in time for that long bar. 823 to now 784. Another Tetris for O. Goes up to 814. Closes the gap down to 8,000 points, but Sidnev reopens it back up to a 38,000 point gap. There it is, another Tetris for O. 846 now. Sidnev executes the tug, knocks down a Tetris. Oh, is Tetris ready? Another Tetris for O. Down by only 9,000 points now. Sidnev knocks down a Tetris, but O counters. 909 to now 918. Another Tetris for Sidnev. And another Tetris for O. 842, 951. Sidnev with the lead currently. Oh, needs a long bar, knocks down a Tetris, 977 to now 985. Oh, Tetris ready, knocks down a Tetris, 1,014,000 to 1,053,000 is gonna come to 29 play. Another Tetris for Sidnev. Oh, only has 3 Tetrises that remain with perfect play. There's one. 1,093,000. Oh, set up for one last Tetris here. And O wants an eyepiece. Okay, both players are on 29. O's gonna have to outplay Sidnev here on 29. Sidnev currently 28 or 27,000 point lead. O needs an eyepiece. And oh, the misdrop with the eyepiece! If another one comes, it might be salvageable. O's doing everything possible. And can't do it! O's gonna top it at 1,095,000. Sidnev wins game number 3 of sudden death. And we go to a game 5. Game number 5, the Millionaires led the series 2-0, and the Wavey ones successfully brought it back. It is now 2-2, and it all comes down for the second year in a row, down to 1 game. What a game that was! It was tense all the way through, but that means that we have one last game to be played, and that game will happen this Sunday. But before then, it is official. The registration will be opening up in about an hour for the next season of Gauntlet. What a game. If you want to join next season, Gauntlet Ascension, you want to be a part of one of these teams coming in the next season, or you want to get better at your skills if you're a player under a max out, this is a perfect chance to do so. So type !Gauntlet, that'll take you directly to the Discord server. You'll get pinged. But wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a fantastic time. We'll be back right here on Classic Tetris on Sunday to determine who is going to win this year's playoffs of Classic Tetris Gauntlet Overdrive. But now we're gonna find, I think Classic Tetris League is going on. So we're gonna raid Classic Tetris League, and I will see you guys, well, my bad. I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky, and I'll see you in the grand finals and the final match of the Classic Tetris Gauntlet Overdrive playoffs.